Hello everyone, welcome back. I got in a new belt today from Core Essentials. This is the leather one. I've been using the tactical one for almost a month now. I've done prior videos on this, and I'll post some links below in the description so you guys can check it out if you haven't seen those. So having been using the tactical one for almost a month now, it's a great belt. Okay, it's a great belt. It's certainly excellent for doing the things that you expect a tactical belt to be able to do, which is basically carry your gun, be able to, get in and out of your holster without, much fuss, without the holster flopping around and stuff. But the one of the things I appreciate the most out of this belt that I wasn't even expecting was the quick release, quick tighten system that it has. Because usually, like if I'm walking around, I want my belt nice and tight, right? So my holster doesn't move around. But when I go to sit down, right, I like to loosen it up a little bit, right? Because it's a lot more comfortable for me. So with this belt, it's just a matter of pushing this little quick release here on the buckle. And then you can just push that, sit down, when you're ready to get up, you just push it in and the belt tightens, right? You just push it in, tightens. When you want to sit back down again, you just hit that button, loosen it up. So this is an excellent feature of this belt. Even just because of this feature alone, like even if I was traveling to a place like, let's say like in New York City or Los Angeles or something, or through an airport where I normally wouldn't be carrying a gun, right? It's worth having a belt like this just because it's so easy to loosen it up and tighten it up. And you're not sitting there pulling on the on the belt, trying to get the buckles, the buckle match up with the holes and stuff. So that's an excellent feature that I've really come to appreciate with this belt from Core Essentials. Now the tactical one that I've been using, it's thick, right? It's great for doing a training class, right, where you're gonna have lots of magazines on you, where you can have, like a med kit, like, cell phone, or, you can basically fill this belt up here with all sorts of stuff, and the belt is thick enough, stout enough that it will be able to control that stuff and keep it, keep it from flopping all over the place. But for just everyday carry, I did want something that was a little thinner, a little bit softer, so that's why I wanted to test out this, I wanted to test out the leather one. By the way, here's the track system, right? This track system is what matches up with the buckle over here, right? So the way this works out, when you push this in, I'll do it from this side so you can see, as you push it in, that catches on the track. Then, so you just push in, tightens up, and then to loosen it up, you just push that button right there, push it in, and basically that, you can loosen this up really easy. So this is an excellent system, okay, and it's kind of like almost like a one size fits all, because they give it to you like really long, right? And then they give you, if you look on the inside here, there's notches. So depending on what your size is, right? So let's say I normally wear size 38 pants. So they tell you whatever your pant size is, you add 6 inches, and that's where you cut it. Now from the prior time that I cut this belt, so I went 38, plus 6 inches. That came out to 44. It was still way too long for me, right? So I cut it down. Now one of the things is, like I went by pant size, which is usually bigger than your actual waist if you put like a tape measure around it. So what I did is I started off at 36, added 6 inches from there. It was still a little bit too long. I ended up cutting it basically at 36 inches, this tactical one, which is my actual waist size. I guess the numbers don't line up perfectly, so I cut it at 36 inches. And part of the reason why, and I did a little bit at a time, right? You don't want to just go straight to that, because you can always cut a little bit more. You cannot add material, right? So be really careful about cutting it. So I kept cutting it down a little bit. And what I was looking for, because this is a thick belt, and because I typically carry, let's say, my cell phone case here, extra magazine here, right? I like having the ability of moving this thing around where I wanted it. And for that purpose, I didn't want the belt on this side sticking out too much. So I wanted to cut it right here. So it just went out a little bit here. And basically on the track system that's inside, it's probably sitting at around like the 4th or 5th of these little notches, right? These things are probably about 1/4 inch apart, so you can really kind of fine tune this a lot better than you can do with a standard belt with holes. So I'm probably in about the 5th one. So at the 5th one, it's pretty tight, right? And then if I want to loosen it up to sit down, just hit that button, you know, bring it back out to the last notch, and I can sit down comfortably, right? And then when you stand up, you just press it together and you're done, right? You loosen it up and you tighten it up that easily, okay? So that's one of the features I've come to appreciate. Now, with this leather one, since it's a little bit softer, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually make it a little bit longer. So what I'm going to do is, so the way it's good. I mean, I already know I'm going to cut it at the 40, right? So if just to double check before I make that cut, I'm going to match this up. Let's say at the 40. Put this over here. Bring this around, and right there at the 40, I'm about 1/3 of the way in on the track system, right? So I can see how much is sticking out, which is not too bad. This is a little bit softer, so it will be able to kind of go, sit in there a little bit more comfortably. They do, you are able to get sleeves. So I do have, let's say, like these sleeves that you can put in there. This short one, there's a long one, right? You're able to put these sleeves in there to help you control it. I ended up not needing it for the tactical one because I cut it so almost perfectly that it just comfortably sits there and that doesn't get in the way. But because this one's a little bit softer, I want to make it a little bit longer. One of the benefits of making it, I'd rather have it a little bit longer is because if I'm at a range training somebody and they're bigger than me, I want to give them the ability to try out the belt, right? Or sometimes what happens is people show up and they got a belt that's too soft, or they don't have a belt. So I always have, like, when I go to a range to train somebody, I always bring along extra equipment. So one of the reasons why I wanted to have these 2 belts is that, I'll probably be, let's say, wearing this one, and I'll have this one along, that they can try this out. They can use it for a training session. If they like it, they can then go, order one from themselves. Okay. So that's one of the, so that's another reason why I want to make this a little bit longer. Now, as far as cutting it, these things are pretty tough. Okay. The last time, in the last video when I was trying to cut it, I was using like scissors, like shears, would not cut it. I ended up using this fabric cutter. Right. This time I'm prepared. I got it all set up. Now, most of you guys aren't going to have one of these machines. So, and I've done lots of work with leather, so I know how to cut thick leather. What you're going to do, right, almost all you're going to have a box cutter. What you're going to do is put this on the surface like this, right? Go to the mark that you want, like in my case 40. And what you're going to do is you're going to make multiple passes, right? Don't try to just go through all the way at once. Make like, just start making passes. After about 10 cuts, you're going to get through it, right? So that's how you're going to get through. If you're just using a box cutter, I don't recommend using scissors. Okay, so let's make our cut here. Let's try to make it straight as possible. All right, hold it straight. That looks pretty straight. All right, so there's these little teeth here. Way that goes in. Now hold on. There's these Allen screws in here, right? Let's loosen those up a little bit. Loose. All right, so those are the Allen screws. Also do this indoors, because if you drop these screws in a place like this where you got cases all over the ground, you're not going to find them. And there it goes. All right, I found it. Look at that. It went inside one of these cases. Let's put that there. I'm not even going to try putting these in now. I'm going to put these in later on. Because those aren't a necessity. It's good to have them. I mean, I did bring some Loctite later on when I put those screws back in. I am going to use that thread locker. Okay, but this alone, for most cases, is just going to hold it in place. So you just push that in. I made a nice cut. That little fabric cutter. Just push that in. All right, and then what you do is Once it's all the way in, you just push it down, and those teeth just bite, hold it in place. So that should do it. By the way, also you probably also want to get one of these little hanger things. These are really convenient. You can hang this in your closet as you get multiple belts. That's pretty convenient. So let's do this. Let me take my belt off. I mentioned this in the last video. When I go home at night, right, gun's in the holster. You know, I don't remove the gun from the holster. The holster is the safety mechanism. I always make a point of reminding people of this. What I do is I take the gun with it inside its holster, put the whole gun like this in the safe. Okay, so the holster is the safety mechanism for the gun. It protects the trigger guard. This is how it goes into the safe. Next morning, I take this, I put it on my belt the way you see it, like this. I don't sit there unloading the gun, get the magazines out. That only increases the chance for error. Okay. Close this up so the wind doesn't take this. I don't want to lose those screws. Don't want to lose all these things. It's a windy day today. Okay, good. Pull that all up. Alright, so here's a hanger. Alright, let me take this belt off. The process started. Okay, so got all that off. So, hold these two belts up here so you can see the. Yeah, so the tactical one obviously is a lot thicker versus the leather one, which you can see how it is a lot softer, right? Tactical one is a lot stiffer. All right, just get behind the camera, make sure you guys can see this right. All right, so you can see, we hold it there so you guys can see the thickness. All right. So the tactical belt is great for tactical training, right? Especially if you're going to take a class. You know, for everyday carry, I think the leather one is going to be probably a little bit more comfortable. This is probably, you know, if you sit down, let's say, I work out with my belt. I mean, the way you see me is the way I pretty much work out. I did a prior video where I was actually doing my squats with this belt. Works great for squats. When you go to do your sit-ups, because that belt's a little bit thicker, it kind of you will feel the belt a little bit. So in certain instances, having the thick belt, you know, might be a little bit, of an issue, but not that much of an issue. But now I got the leather one. Let's try this out. Obviously, this is a lot softer. It's going in a lot easier. All right, so take this up. Nice. Okay, so this thing still goes way out here. I'm going to probably end up cutting this a little bit more. I don't think I want it sticking out that much. However, hold on. Let me put the gun back on there. Remember, you got to also test this out with the gun that you're going to be carrying, and especially if you're carrying inside the waistband. You know, obviously that's going to add like almost another 2 inches. So yeah, later on I might just shorten this up a little bit, but you know, there's no need to rush into that. Okay, so. The nice thing about this is it's so easy to release. You want to take the belt off, like let's say you're going to go use the bathroom, right? You don't want to drop your pants with the gun just sitting there on your belt, flopping on the ground. What I'll do is I'll take this off, shove this in my pants, right? And then you can use the restroom with the gun inside this holster, inside your pocket. And then take, never rest your gun on the surface, right? Never, like if you're going to use the bathroom, never take the gun and put it, let's say, on the tank, on the toilet tank, or on a sink or something, even in your own house, because even if you never forget things, something might happen that might distract you and you might forget it, especially if you got kids in the house. Never rest your gun on the surface. The gun's either on your body or in its safe, okay? So that's why if I don't use the bathroom, I shove the gun in my pants, okay? So what I want to do is I want to start off with, let's start off with outside the waistband. Got Glock 19 there. So this is a paddle holster. I'm going to test this out, see how this works. All right, so you know, when you go to test this gun out, make sure that just, you know, practice your draw stroke first before you start doing any live fire. Okay. That's working great. Thermups on. So, while we're talking, let's talk about the proper way to draw a gun out of your holster, right? So you never want to, you always want to have this hand on your body, right? You don't want to leave it out here where it's going to get shot. So it's either going to be on your body. If you need to pull up your shirt, on your shirt, but it's always on your body. Some people will stick it in the pocket, whatever. In most instances, I have to kind of get my shirt out of the way anyway. So, you know, so that's a good place for the hand to be. So get on your body, pull, rotate, right? If I need to start shooting from here, I can shoot from here, right? If the threat's like, you know, right in front of my face, I can shoot from here. I go to join, right? Again, if I need to shoot from here, I can shoot from here. And then from there, you go to extension, right? Come back in, do everything in reverse, hand out of the way, get the gun back in the holster. Okay, so that's the safe way to draw a firearm. So what I want to do now is I want to, you know, typical situation, a lot of us drive in a car. You're sitting in the car, right? You know, of course, we loosen the belt up a little bit, right? Nice and convenient to loosen it up, right? That allows us to sit down comfortably. We're driving, we're stopped, right? Some guys basically, you know, coming up screaming, holding a bat, a knife. They're trying to come into the car, whatever. They're trying to kill us, right? They're a deadly threat. They're on the left side, right? To draw, right? Careful not to point the gun into your legs. Get both hands on the gun, right? From this position here, you're able, you know, turn to the side, you know, shoot to the left if you need to. You can actually turn all the way around. Shoot all the way around. Now, if you need to go to the other side, right? Let's say the threat's on the other side. Switch hands, right? It's not a big deal. Just switch hands. You can turn all the way around. You're able to, so you gotta get comfortable with this idea of being left-handed or right-handed, right? In the tactical world, there's no left-handed or right-handed. It's whatever I need to be at any given moment, right? All right. So from here, again, make sure you don't point the gun into your leg, and reholster the gun. Okay. So that's working great. Okay. And when you stand up, tighten up the belt. Beautiful. All right. Let's try a different gun. Okay. So that was outside the waistband holster. Loosen up the gun. Okay. So that was with the paddle holster. All right. Let me show you guys a gun. Polymer 80 G19. Let me put this down. Okay, that's real cool. Look at the frame. I got that from Armor Ally. Awesome frame. Comes camo. All right, put this one away. Put it in the holster. Again, the holster. I know the gun's loaded. The holster is the safety mechanism. Okay. Let's try the G26. All right, so that was a 19. We're gonna do the G26. Okay. That was originally an FDE frame that I dyed. I took this burgundy color, and I got this really cool holster for it. Really nice red one. I forgot where I got it from, but I did a video review on this. If you guys want, you can message me below, and I'll tell you where I got it from. So loosen this up a little bit. So now we're going inside the waistband, right? So I got to make the holster a little bit bigger, because now I need an extra 2 inches, right? So I can see here, I got plenty of room on this side, so I can actually see the track over here. So I'm definitely going to cut this down a little bit shorter. Does not need to be that long on this side over here, right? But it's still enough. I don't know, you know, I'm not going to rush. I want to see later on how this works with my cell case. If it works, if it's not too much interference, I might just leave it. We'll see. That's one of those things you're just going to figure out, you know. So let's practice here. No. Great. All right, excellent. So, you know, we can do a, you know, turn, identify, right? You always want to identify the threat, right? Turn. Reholster. All right, so that works great. Inside the waistband. So let's loosen this up. Let's try the G43. So one of the nice things I'm really liking about these belts is, you know, sometimes with other belts I've used in the past, you know, what happens is, even with these, I'm able to get the gun off the belt. Sometimes my old belt, I had to actually remove the entire belt. I couldn't just go like this with the clip and have it pull up. This is working really good. So I got this is the G43 that you guys saw me using before, right? It's got the True Precision slide on it. Okay, but let's use this one. This one, I got a light on it, right? So that's the TLR 7 sub, right? You can see the frame. That's again from Armor Ally, and I got the Nightfall holster. I did a review on that, right? So it's a light bearing holster, the Holosun 507K. Let's put this on. See how this works with the light on it. All right, so get that on there. Make this a little bit tighter. All right, so let's work with this. See how this works. Okay, let's get to the gun. All right, get that again. Now, one of the things that I do find, right, I've been practicing for a while with this now. When you have a holster with a light on it, especially if it's like a Glock 43, like this one over here, all right, because it's smaller, it does take a little bit more time to get back into the holster, just because, you know, just lighting thing up. If you're using a bigger gun with a light on it, I find that there's less of an issue reholstering. But with the smaller guns with the lights on it, you know, sometimes I find that you know, sometimes it can be a little bit more difficult. But hey, one of the things I tell people, we're never in a rush to get back into the holster. We're in a rush to come out of the holster, right? So coming out of the holster, not a problem, right? Never a problem coming out of the holster. But to get back into the holster, we're not necessarily in a rush. So if you need to take an extra second, take that extra second. You don't want to shoot yourself in the foot. You know, make sure your fingers clear the trigger. Take that extra second. You know, take that extra second. However, you do want to get the gun back in the holster as quick as you safely can. The reason is because, let's say you're in a situation where you have to defend yourself. Other people on the scene may not realize, you know, who's who, right? They might not know that you're the good guy. They might think that you're the bad guy. So, you know, after you use the gun, you know, you want to do your scan, assess, and then quickly reholster the gun, right? So let's do it again. Scan. Oh shit! There's a guy over there. He's trying to kill me. Turn around, right? Do my scan, assess. All right. Then quickly reholster the gun, right? Now, if you notice, when I did my scan, assess, I cover up the gun, so nobody can see that I got a gun, right? Because they don't know who I am. So I want to, and then from there, quickly reholster. Now, sometimes people debate the value of the scan and assess, and that's an important thing to consider. The scan and assess is not just so that you can see if there's any other threats around you. It's also a programmed mechanism for breaking tunnel vision, okay? Most of you guys watching this video have never had to use a gun in self-defense, right? In a real self-defense type of situation, you know, including myself, right? I've never shot anybody. I don't expect I ever will, okay? If you ever do that, okay, your body's going to be in a shock, right? You know, so the tendency is that if you're using the gun in a self-defense situation, after you fire, you're going to be frozen, okay? You're just going to be frozen. So that's one of the reasons why when I train people, I practice a mechanism for breaking that tunnel vision, where you're just looking there and you're not thinking about anything else. So by practicing that scan assess, right, because that's a programmed reaction where basically it kickstarts your brain to start thinking about what you got to do next, okay? So because you can't really train how your brain is going to react in a situation where, you know, you might have just killed somebody in a self-defense situation. You can't train that, right? I mean, until you're there, and there's no way to know exactly what your brain is going to do. But what you can do is to train an automatic response that after you fire, you're going to immediately scan, assess. If that, you know, and that's going to kickstart your brain to start thinking about what you're going to do next. Get the gun in the holster, move to cover, you know, call 911, you know, all that stuff, right? But you have to, you know, it helps to have a trained mechanism to get you to the next step. And for me, that's the scan and assess. You know, that gets you thinking about what I got to do next. So, all right, so I'm going back to this holster, which is kind of the point of this video, right? I love it. I mean, you know, by the way, I you know, I don't get paid by these guys. You know, I'm a gun instructor. I'm a full-time gun instructor. I train lots of people. You know, I mean, I pretty much do this every day. And I mean, I like this product, right? It's a good product. You know, I have used other belts. You know, usually gun belts do the job of carrying a belt pretty good. One of the things I really like about this belt is the track system that allows you to really, loosen it up, tighten it up. That is a major convenience for me. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll put some links below in the description to some of my other videos to where you can buy this belt if you like it, or if you like the stuff that you saw here. If you got some of your own comments, put them in the comment section. If you own this belt already, if you have it, if you've been using it, drop some comments, because you might have a different experience than I have. You might know some things, you might know some tips that I haven't come around to yet. So please do put them in the comment section. If you're not a member of this channel, subscribe, hit that bell button so you get all the notifications. I'll talk to you guys soon.